Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Jez7780. What grinds? My gears. Episode, I don't know what the hell episode it is. It's just this stuff is coming in and hot. I have no time to number these things, but I will number them later. But I don't know if this. Oh, here it is. What's up, chat? Get your asses in here. We are going to talk E3 and shit. Wouldn't you guess? The leaks have begun. And boy, oh boy. I clicked on a link here or there, and I was like, oh, what am I watching? And I got to see something. And I'm going to talk about it. Not too much, because I know there's people out there that want to wait and be surprised. So I'm not going to give, just going to talk about a little thing. But I really wanted to talk about E3. Like, that was the whole point. I was going to, come in, give some ideas, just some speculation. I'm not no friggin' insider. I don't have insiders. It is just what I see, what I hear, and what I watch. So, like the video, get people in this room. Let's go. I'm going to be reading the chat. I don't have my soundboard with me. I'm going to do that. We'll hold that off because I'm podcasting from Studio B. That's what I have. Studio B is the headphone and the Chromebook. So that's the one I'm broadcasting from today. I'm not broadcasting from Studio A, which has all my special effects. But maybe I'll do another one later, tomorrow. I don't know. I'm going to be doing a lot of these things. It's just that time. It's that time of year. What's up, the Coon? D Almighty, Planet Jezbox. Yes. This might be what I could rename this to, the Planet Jezbox. What's up, Sam Ash? Back again. All right. So, first thing I'll talk about is just I did my Stadia thing, wrap up some stuff on the Stadia stuff as that came out yesterday. And, people have been taking it. The streaming's not for me. What's up, Sizzle? How you doing, man? Like, it's not for me. The streaming, the future. And I'll just lay it here, just like I said yesterday, it's to recap. Mario, what's up, man? The streaming future. I was thinking about this as I was exploring the world, driving around. I recall when VR was announced, how VR was going to be, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be VR in the future. That's it. Everybody's just going to have one of these headsets running around. That's the future of gaming, is VR. If you remember the investors, I remember sitting at PAX East at the bar with one of the one of the district managers of GameStop, and he was saying how his job is really to make sure that there's a whole VR booth and setup in every store, because you got to try it to experience it. And it was like the biggest thing. VR is going to change gaming. I love VR. It found its niche. It found its group. I think it's a great way to play, but I just recall everybody saying that was the future. I think I love it. And I don't want my traditional game to go away for that. I like it as another alternative to gaming. I see the similar discussions going on with streaming, that this is it. Traditional consoles and playing with, like, behind your TV. The best place to play your games is on a TV. Like, that's it. And Google saying, like, no console required and all that other crap. You still need a Chromecast Ultra, which is $69.99. Not a regular Chromecast, which those are like $30. You need a Chromecast Ultra, $70. So there is still a cost to entry. All right? This is not free. This is not no controllers needed, because remember, that was the Kinect thing. So just to recap on that stuff, there's still a barrier to entry. So Google being like, no console required, you need a Chromecast to get it on your TV. All right. So maybe it's not a $300 console, but it is a Chromecast. It is another device that you need to put onto your TV. And you got to buy a $70 controller on top of that. So it's not that I just pull out my phone, I'm playing these games. You got to pay. And to get those people to pay subscriptions, people don't pay a subscription for Fortnite. They don't pay a subscription for PUBG. Mobile gamers do not pay that way. They pay for free. And also, I think it's a huge, huge issue that Google is not having this on all Android phones at launch, and the fact it shows how they are so still segmented in their updates and their features that they're only putting on the Pixel. That's a huge loss, and I think Microsoft could definitely make xCloud more accessible if they go it's on all iPhones and all Android phones than over Google for availability. But you know what? It's still the cloud shit. It's still an option. I don't, future. Nobody knows the future. All right, and we vote with our wallet, and we determine the future. Motion controls were selling. Everybody jumped on motion controls. All of a sudden, it became a fad. Everybody's like, I don't want motion controls anymore. And guess what? They backed that shit off real quick because it wasn't selling. So, vote with your wallet. But I do think with the streaming stuff, and this is going to lead into the E3 stuff, I do think Microsoft is going to go balls out talking about xCloud at this E3. This is their show. And Phil said it, and I showed it in a number of these episodes. When he talked to Major Nelson, it's about gaming. It's about coming to the top and reaching those news outlets. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry about that. Had to move to my other office. Hold on. Moving to Studio A. Studio C I'm moving to. I'm moving to Studio C. Got the boot. Because I didn't want any background interference. So anyway, what I was saying is the whole thing with... Let me move this over here. Just set up my system real quick. They're going to have to sell this thing. In fact, that Phil Spencer did a whole email after Google announced their Stadia to justify, team, this is where we're going. This is what's going on. Oh, there we go. I'm off the microphone. There we go. The thing is that they are going to use their time on this E3 stage. And what Phil said in his interview, and so make sure you guys can hear me. Sound check. I took the thing off mute because I was moving. Thank you, guys. It looks like yep, it looks like I'm on. Okay, good. So what he said is that this is a time to transcend kind of the noise, above the noise, because there's a lot of... Thanks, Coon Man. There's a lot of there's a lot of news outlets and stuff that cover E3 that, like, The Verge and all these other things that Microsoft can get their message out to a larger group and, to reach the 2 billion gamers. So I do think that this is going to be their point to really show xCloud and how it works. And I think a majority of their E3, a lot of it, even though it's going to be a lot of game trailers and a lot of stuff. Hey, Glorious. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. I know. Yeah. So, like, a lot of their E3, I think a big chunk of it is going to be this xCloud. And they're going to use this. They might have people... I heard some reports, like, with people saying that they might have somebody, like, in Xbox Plaza, like, on their phone, like, demoing it, going, look, I'm playing, like, without a console and stuff like that. And, it is what it is. And I think a lot of people are being very optimistic about it because they feel that Microsoft has kind of, like, just abandoned, or really just kind of like, left out. And I say this all the time, like, the console owner, and what I said with Seamus Backley, the console owner, in pursuit of this vision of their games everywhere, everybody should play everything. And they kind of just left the person who lined up saying, I need my Xbox to play these games. that person who bought into this ecosystem to basically go, well, you know what, man, you go wherever you want. And then you look at analogous to what Sony stated in Jim Ryan's latest interview, where he's like, his job is to take that PlayStation 4 group and move them over to PlayStation 5. It's his ass. Like, that's his ass. Like, if he loses people, like if they sell 100 million consoles and they're not on track to sell another 100 million of PlayStation 5s, and he has not migrated that group over, that's his job. Jim Ryan's job on Sony is to take that group and bring them to the next console. Whereas on Microsoft's end, it's to take whatever core system, keep them happy with introducing a new console, but tell them you could go wherever you want. And that's the two different visions of the two different companies as we go into next gen. Jim Ryan's ass is basically taking those group people and migrating them over to PlayStation 5 and growing PlayStation 5 console and making that thing, saying your library goes with you. And so Microsoft's like, go wherever you want. We're just going to put our stuff everywhere, not creating a demand for the console. And I think people feel that way in the fact that Microsoft has kind of taken that vision and they have thrown it all out the window in pursuit. What's up, Meds? How you doing, man? In pursuit of this xCloud streaming future. And that's why I think people are just kind of like, well, if Microsoft believes in this, then I got to believe in this because I believe in Microsoft. And that's to each his own. So here we are at 2 days before E3. I think a lot of it's going to be xCloud. We know we're going to see Halo Infinite and the new engine. We know we're going to see Gears 5, which that leaked box art is true. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm not going to say the game is trash because of it. But I do think that that box art, it looks kind of uninspired. Looks a little. It looks. The thing about that box art is that I think it tells too much. Not only does it look bad, look poor. I think like doesn't look really engaging. It looks kind of like it looks a little goofy. But the thing is, I think it's forcing too much of the story. Like it kind of spoils Gears 4 and the fact that it's like Kate in the middle with Marcus, and then the Locust Queen, and then it's like the light and dark side. Like it's just it's very kind of too obvious in here. It looks too obvious. Like the Queen, Locust Queen, wasn't even in Gears 4. And now all of a sudden she's showing up in Gears 5. Like in the box art, nonetheless. And the fact that it's all snow and ice, the game right now, just looking at it, it looks like an expansion. Now, I hope they prove me wrong. But that was my fear, is that it looks like some sort of, it looks like, yo, here's the snow expansion for Gears 4, where you're going to take control of Kate and go into the ice levels and figure out her history with random dude Dell, and Marcus and Dom are going to, Marcus and JD are going to do something else. And is it a spinoff, or is it the next Gears, man? The next Gears of War. This shit has to go down. Like, let's go. Let's go do side story. Let's do Kate's story up there. We'll see how it pans out. But the box art doesn't really. I think it's a little too obvious, as to where the story is going. I hope there's a twist, but it doesn't look that great. But it is what it is. It's just box art. But yeah, it turned out to be true. But we know we're gonna see Gears 5 there. Probably Gears Tactics, which looks pretty interesting. Yeah, let's see. Mara said Kate may be the main antagonist in Gears 6. Marcus could die by her. I know. I heard people saying that stuff, like, oh, maybe she kills Marcus and all that other stuff. You know what? It's funny because go to Game of Thrones and listen to all the fan theories with Game of Thrones, and they're so much better than actually what happened. So, I think the fans write better stuff than actually what they're going to do. I don't think they're going to kill off Marcus. No way. He might die maybe in 6. I don't think he's dying in 5. I don't think he's gonna die. If he does, I think that will be huge. But I don't think they have really done a good job of JD in developing him to take over Marcus. Or, my whole thing is like, I wish, and this is kind of a side thing, but I wish Kate, if we find out Kate is related to Marcus, like she's part of him as well. Like she was his daughter or something like that. Like I don't know why they introduced JD because it just seems so weird. Like why we introduce JD when Kate's the main protagonist? Like have her be Marcus's daughter, but then she has ties to like her grandma. I don't know. You know what? The thing that always pisses me off with Gears of War, I'll tell you that, is that you take so long between games like Gears 4 and Gears 5. Same thing with Halo, that you leave these open-ended endings and we got to wait years to figure out. That's why I always believe DLC should have been kind of that intermittent filler between the like they should have had a DLC campaign to tie in something. Like I thought what they did with Lost Legacy was awesome. Like that was really cool, but I definitely think that they should do something to bridge it to the next generation, because you leave these cliffhanger endings 4 years ago and it's like, oh yeah, let me get back into it and stuff. And I feel like they should have done the DLC. Like I think this story would have been a great kind of 2 year later DLC kind of, let's get back mini game, $40 campaign only. Let's go. New snow maps added to Gears 4 to promote this, and this would have been great while they make the next big Gears of War. And I know people are predicting like the only way that this cut turns legit is if Kate kills either Marcus or JD, like Gloria War said. Like Kev said, like, if they killed JD and Marcus, like that will, like, that's some serious shit, and that would be something that we could look into. That I think that would justify her character and her heel turn if that's what she's going to be with this heel turn. But remember, there was also in that trailer too, like there was something up with JD's arm, like it was hurting him and stuff. Like maybe he's infected. I don't know. So like I'm interested to see where it goes, but and definitely with the campaign where it goes, like I hope there's no like built-in horde levels in the single player, like they took up time in the Gears 4, like just to they stretch out the game. Like I do think Act 3 in Gears 4 was brutal. It was so long and drawn out. I loved Act 2. I thought Act 2 was great. Act 3 kind of slowed down. 4 was good. And Act 5 seemed like kind of weird. Like, he's infected from a recent event in the game. Okay, good. So yeah, I figured something was up with his arm and he's infected. So we'll see. Maybe they're transforming people. Like, I don't know. It was kind of lame, and for Gears 4 that the Locusts are still there, like the Spawn are still like a different version of the Locust, like they're basically a different like classification of them, or like a different kind of during the like they're like just like an insect, like it's basically the pupa stage, or like it's an evolved stage of them, but just get away with them. Just like in Halo 5, we're still fighting grunts and elites. Like the war's over, dude. Like how many of these rogue kind of like grunts and elites are running around out there? Like, come on. The Prometheans suck. I hate them as an enemy. The Knights were better in 5 than 4. But where's the next level shit? Like where is the stop? Like you could have them in there, maybe in a flashback mission or something, but don't let me keep fighting grunts and elites the whole friggin' game. They're still around, dude. Like, and then you take out you take out the flood, and it's like, just why don't you have the flood evolve and turn into something else, and a new enemy? That's sort of one thing I did have to say with Gears 4 was like Gears 5's thing was that I like that they had some new enemies. They had some of these kind of like transforming guys or something like that. I thought that was pretty cool. Like they like lock down. I think that's pretty cool. Like maybe this new area allows for newer enemies, not just the friggin' Locust. So we'll see. Yes, the brutes too. Yes. I know. Like I just feel like like come on, was next gen. We should like there should be a little bit more, especially how long it takes to make these games, and how long we're waiting. So we'll see, but we know we're gonna see Gears 5 there. Gears Tactics. Maybe they'll show some Gears Pop or say it releases today. And then I know he said 14 games on the stage. Like, I do think there's going to be Sea of Thieves DLC. Sea of Thieves will be represented because what he said in the tweet were 14 Xbox Game Studio games will be on stage. He didn't say new games. He didn't say unannounced 14 games. He said 14 games on stage. So that means in the show they had Halo, Gears Tactics, Gears Pop. We're gonna probably see Sea of Thieves will be represented with probably another expansion. People are saying State of Decay 2. I don't know. Maybe something to tie into State of Decay 3. I don't know. Maybe that. Ori. I'm sure they'll show the Cuphead DLC. Now I don't think that's an Xbox Game Studios game, but I'm just speculating. We'll see the Cuphead DLC. Now that Cuphead is everywhere, it's going to be on my Tesla soon. Later this summer, which would be crazy. But in Tesla, but Cuphead is everywhere now that it's on the Switch. Now that announcement holds. See, and that's where you got to take your mind, and the fact that an announcement like this, now that Cuphead is on multiple platforms, an announcement of them showing DLC affects more people. It doesn't affect the Xbox fans in the crowd. It affects them, but it's an announcement for everyone, and just goes along those lines of announcement of gaming. Outer Worlds, Battletoads, that's right, Eddie T. A lot of it is on being that. So, and then maybe in Exiles, I don't know, they have what is it, the Divinity 3 or something like that? I have no clue. None of it. That doesn't interest me, on that stuff. But it's going to be interesting because I feel that Microsoft is going to make a lot of announcements on the stage that are not going to be targeted to the Xbox console owner, the Xbox fans in the crowd. I think those Xbox fans in the crowd are going to get things by association. Like, oh, this game is announced. That's great. Oh, and it happens to be coming to Xbox console. That's it. I do think a lot of the announcements that Microsoft's going to make is going to be more for the global audience. It's going to be like Cuphead DLC that's on everything. It's going to be xCloud that's going to be everywhere. It's going to be this game. Xbox Game Pass for PC is going to have some stage time. So that is another thing where you have an Xbox event for the Xbox Fan Fest, because I could tell you, those Fan Fest people, that crowd, the people watching Xbox press conference, care about the console they invested in. They care about the console that they invested in. And all these other announcements are nice. That's why I can't understand the shift of everybody. And, the shift of everybody of just going well, if it's good for Microsoft, it's good for me. It's like, but why? Because people magically think that Microsoft is going to get money for this venture out to everyone and going to put it back into games. They're a $1 trillion company right now. They're not looking for hand-me-outs of money. They're not strapped for money. They're a $1 trillion company right now. So they have the money to buy shit right now. So don't think they got to put their games on Steam and then they're going to get money from Steam and then going to put that into Game Studios games. What? They are the richest company now. They got the money to buy shit now. They had the money to buy shit then. They just didn't believe in it. And they abandoned the games. And now they're like, oh, well, we got a different vision now for our games. Let's try to sell this piece of shit. This is the thing. They have the money now. So stop with this it's good for Microsoft. It's good for, they're going to dominate with xCloud and they're going to make money. Woo! Who the fuck cares? Who cares if Microsoft makes money? With all the $1 trillion company, they couldn't sustain a music subscription service. They killed Groove with all the money in the world. They were there before Spotify, before Rdio and shit. They had Zune Music Pass for all these years. They were everywhere. They weren't just on Zunes. They abandoned it. They couldn't even sell a fucking Fitbit. Fitbit was out there. They tried to do the Xbox Watch, the Game Watch, whatever the hell they had, the fucking Microsoft Watch, the band. Scrapped it. With all the money in the world, they could not sustain those devices or chose not to. The Kinect, all the money in the world, Kinect was the most popular accessory. Nothing. Scrapped to the T. So tell me that we need to wait for Steam money, which Microsoft has to give a cut to Steam before Microsoft will reinvest into games. They could make whatever they want to do with the games, but they could buy that shit now. They don't need that money. So everybody's saying it's good for Microsoft money. Let's talk about the games. And I said that yesterday. It's about the games. They can invest now. They've chosen to make these games. They've chosen to buy these studios. They've chosen this stuff. And I'm glad that they're investing into making games. But just the people in the crowd, the people who watch this E3, the Xbox fans, there's going to be a lot of, I feel, news that's going to be just given by association and not you're the target audience. And we know this. But I do think Phil's going to use this stage to promote the bigger vision that they've been talking about. And I think people are just going to be like, well, good job, Microsoft. And I think there's going to be a lot more PC-focused stuff, a lot more of mobile. Maybe there'll be some more mobile games on the stage. And then they're going to show the third-party games where, they're the only stage in town to show that stuff. That's right. Mario says, they could buy CD Projekt Red, Remedy, they could buy these companies, and I'm surprised they never bought companies with IP. But they decided, and Matt Booty said this when they changed their name to Xbox Game Studios, that the fact that they bought these studios, they bought these mid-sized studios so they could turn out games quicker, and looking at a 1-2 year turnaround time. Which they're smaller and they're made for Game Pass, he said. They're made for Game Pass. So I think when people are saying, look at Xbox Studios, I think Gears is going to be big. Halo is going to be huge. And Forza is going to be big. But I think those are going to be still your tentpole games. But I do feel that a lot of these games coming out of studios are going to be kind of like what State of Decay 1 was for the Xbox 360, like Xbox arcade games. And, that brings me to the leaked trailer of the Bleeding Edge thing. And if you look at it, the rumors were true that it's a 4, and this was again, we haven't seen it E3, but I watched the link of it. It's a 4v4 battle with an Overwatch look to it. So it has that cartoony look. Again, Microsoft I've yet to see this, besides Gears 5, yet to see a serious, a real, realistic looking type game. Again, with the cartoons, we got Ninja Theory making this mature, amazing looking game. And now they're making Overwatch clones. I'm a little disappointed because Ninja Theory has not made a multiplayer game, an online game at all. They've made single-player narrative games. Besides Kung Fu Chaos, they have made single-player combat story-driven games. And now we got that studio making a 4v4 multiplayer arena game. Just like we might have Playground, who made open world racing games, possibly making an RPG. It could work. I don't know. But looking at that trailer, it is going to be, I'm sure it looked, I'm going to say it looked cool, but it doesn't look like the next level. It doesn't look like, when I saw Hellblade, I was like, oh my God, it's only gonna be $30. When I saw that game, I was like, holy crap. This game, when I saw that thing, I'm like, oh, this I hope this is not 60. This may be a good arena kind of arcade game. This looks like an arcade game, 4v4, stuff like that. And I know you could say, well, Overwatch, $60 and all. I'm just saying, from the look of it, 4v4 arena thing, it looks cool. Like, I'm gonna say it looks cool. Like, it doesn't look like trash. Like, it doesn't look goofy, but it's not. Maybe the characters look cool and stuff like that. But you just get that Overwatch feel to it, which Overwatch again, it's still big, but again, it is what it is. But I just feel like looking at this game that they have some characters in it. I'm sure they'll have loot boxes in it. Exactly, Eddie. That's exactly where I'm going with this. If you look at Eddie T's comment, like it looks like it has some character in it. It's some people saying it's like a Archon. Who is it? Was it Arcany? It's another game like Divinity Falls or something like that. I don't know. It's basically like a melee Overwatch, 4v4 with characters like that have unique powers and stuff like that, and in arenas, and I'm sure there'll probably be like customization behind loot bombs, loot crates, and all that stuff, just like Overwatch. Like that's what I had the feel. I looked at it, I was like, oh, it looks like Overwatch. Anarchy Reigns, thank you. I never played that game, but well, I might have. I don't know. I don't think I ever played it. It was a PC. I never played that game, but we'll go back to what Eddie said. It looks like a game that'll fit perfect for Game Pass. And that's exactly what Booty was saying. And I said, and what I've been saying is wait till we see what these studios that Microsoft bought stop making. Definitely this is better than a COD game. I thought it was going to be some COD game, some bullshit. But I know when people said Ninja Theory was making a game, oh my God, they got Ninja Theory. I don't think they were saying like, oh my God, Ninja Theory is going to make a 4v4 games as a service arena fighter, arena shooter that looks like Overwatch. I think people, I remember when Ninja Theory was announced as Microsoft, people thought like, there's our Naughty Dog. There's the Naughty Dog. They're going to make single player narrative, realistic looking games. And now we got Exhibit A. First game coming out of the studios. Creative Freedom. They have never made a multiplayer 4v4 game. They never made a multiplayer game before. They have made Hellblade, Enslaved, DMC, Heavenly Sword, and then they made Kung Fu Chaos, which I would prefer to Kung Fu Chaos game because that shit was cool, almost like a Power Stone type game. I'll take those. I think that's cool. But they're making now a 4v4 online multiplayer arena fighter, Overwatch style, Anarchy Reigns or something like that. Multiplayer. That was really the studio's next game, or the studio like wanted to, like, I know people like, oh, they'll work on it before Microsoft, but I don't know, man. Like that doesn't seem to fit in what the studio makes. And is this a victim of Microsoft going, we need a games as a service game for Game Pass? You cannot make a Hellblade day one, finish it in 8 hours and call it a day. We need a game that has legs that could pull people in with loot boxes. We need a games as a service game for our Game Pass because we committed every single one of our games for Game Pass. There you go. And this is me just thinking out loud. Probably wrong. Who knows? 4v4, you have maybe 10 characters, 11, maybe 10 characters, maybe 8 characters. I hope not. Maybe 10 characters in it. You maybe have 4 maps, 3 arenas. And see, that's what I mean. This game was already being made before Microsoft's acquisition. Okay. So this is what they were making before. Okay. But they have never made anything like this before. And what were they? Like 70 people, 100 people when they made Hellblade? Not even. They've made narrative single player games with stories, no matter how big this studio is. All right. So we're going to say that this is a victim of that they just wanted to make this game before. Like, excuses. Stop. Maybe it was, Eddie. You're right. Maybe this was the project that Microsoft was like, oh, we'll take that. But everybody thought when I'm just saying, and LJ, I totally understand. Like, I don't think Microsoft walked in there and said, like, yo, make this game. Like they had the thing. I don't believe so. You know, and definitely they might have been working on this, or maybe this was an idea. Microsoft said, yo, this is something that we want. But when Ninja Theory was purchased at E3, and people, that was like the biggest announcement of E3 last year, only a year ago, right? That was the biggest announcement. Everybody thought that this was their Naughty Dog. Everybody thought that this was their answer to the Uncharted, because that's what Ninja Theory has been making. And it's all, and I don't know. I don't know if we'll see a Hellblade 2 in the structure that it was for Game Pass. And this is my biggest problem, because I've been saying, like, Microsoft is making games for Game Pass. They are making games in mind for a subscription model. Therefore, game development will be affected by this. This has nothing to do with more people can play games and Game Passes on all these things. The problem is that they are making games targeted for a subscription model. And because of that, game design is going to be affected. These are not games that are made like, Metro Exodus or something like that goes into Game Pass. That game was not made for a subscription. That game was made to be a complete game. Wolfenstein. Those games were made for, and now that game goes into Game Pass. That's fine. It had its time as a single player entity and had its time being developed for a retail, regular $60 purchase, full game. Here you go. And that goes into Game Pass. That's fine. But when you're having games start to be put into Game Pass from day one, there are going to be decisions that are going to be made, and game development decisions that are going to be made to make these games have legs, to keep people engaged, to keep people subscribed. And that's where Microsoft committing everything, the kitchen sink, to Game Pass worried me in 2017, going, now the games they're going to make are just going to be service games, because these games have to be for Game Pass. We will never see a game like Days Gone, a game like God of War, a game like what Halo 3 was, like what Halo 4 was, like what Gears 3 was, like what Gears 2 was, like what Gears 4 was. We're never going to see those kind of games in how they were, now that Microsoft has committed to put everything in Game Pass day one. And if Game Pass is available to more people, they got even more incentive. And I said this before, how do you make a game for 2 billion people? Well, you can't really have one with heads ripped off and arms being ripped off and people Mortal Kombat style. You got to make these games look appealing visually, but you also have to make them kind of fit into the realm, Fortnite-ish, if you let me say it, like a Fortnite type game. Not the realistic so much where, it's too realistic. I don't want my kid playing that stuff. No, let's do Fortnite where it's animated violence and things like that. We saw it with Sea of Thieves, and we're seeing it now with the look of this game. I'm sure there's going to be a teen-rated game. But you got to make Master Storyteller. That's right, LJ, yeah. He said Master Storytellers. Like, that's what I mean. Like, he talks such a good game. I call it, and we heard it here, Philness. Instead of finesse, we call it the Philness. I'm sick of his bullshit. And I would wish if Microsoft just would take Xbox and sell it to Amazon and let Amazon put its money behind it and make some fucking games. That's where I'm at right now, because I don't like Satya. I don't like Phil. I think, you know what? Go third party, do whatever you want, but don't fuck with my Xbox. Give it to somebody. Give it back to fucking Seamus Blackley. He got it. He turns over when he sees this shit, because he's like, I had to fight these people to show why we need a console. And the console gamer wants to play great games and be proud of their console. That's what he said. That's what he said. You can't take those people that built pride on a console and built pride, and the ecosystem is built off of Xbox, and now flip the script and be like, well, Xbox means tissues, and Xbox means body wash, and it means FUBU gear, and it means sneakers, And it also means apps, and it means services, and it means studios, and it means phones, and it means digital, and it means streaming, and it means all this shit. You don't do that. And that's why you see people rebelling. That's why you see people fucking pissed off. Because I'm not compromising to that shit. Because that's not what I bought into. I bought a piece. It's like buying a fucking hat, like buying something, and then somebody going, "Yeah, it's a speaker." Like I bought a speaker. This plays great music, and like, no, we're really supposed to. Yeah, it's supposed to. It's a blender. It's a house appliance. I mean, no, it's a fucking speaker. And I understand when things have multi purposes. Like, oh, the console, you could watch TV on it, you could stream. I'm fine with that as long as it had great games, because that will get my other family members to use it. Remember, that was the whole thing. Like, I would bring it in the house to play games because of great games. I would bring it into the house. And then, like, my wife and the family would use it to watch TV or to watch Netflix. And that was kind of getting it into the living room. That was the whole point of the whole, like, console, and it being more than just a gaming console. That's right. Yeah. Eric says, yeah, he says that if I told you it's because Microsoft's an American corporation and only care about money, everyone that plays Nintendo have remained focused on games and fans. The thing is that Nintendo and Sony, and I agree with that in some sense, in the fact that Nintendo and Sony have to sell hardware. And in order to push their hardware, they need to have a reason to purchase that hardware. And the reason they have to purchase that hardware is their games. And, they got to sell services. What's up, Blue? How you doing, man? They need to have those services and promote their hardware. Nintendo, they got to sell Switches. And the more Switches they sell, the more people will buy, the more subscriptions they will sell. Sony has to sell a TV, has to sell a console, has to sell a phone, has to sell hardware. And in order to push their PlayStation hardware and their services, they need to sell that hardware, and they use games as their leverage to do it. Microsoft does not need to sell anything because Microsoft is a software company. They are not hardware focused. Microsoft also is very intertwined with enterprise. They got all these big companies using Office 365, using OneDrive, using all that stuff. They got a lot of influx of money coming from other areas where consoles are really the life and blood of both Nintendo and Sony. And we've seen Sony turn it around, just getting rid of VAIO, getting rid of everything, getting rid of all their shit, and made the Sony PlayStation brand the brand for them. Like that, the PlayStation is basically the thing that's keeping them up, like making their turnaround. Microsoft doesn't need that. Microsoft really don't need Xbox to succeed to still be a successful company. And that's where the difference is. Microsoft's willing to sacrifice what Xbox is, the 40 million people out there that bought a console, in order to pursue a larger gaming future. And Chambers, I think, said it perfect back in 2017. Said it, well, Microsoft's like, thank you, Xbox, for making it what it is. We'll take it from here, Microsoft style. Because the biggest thing with the 360 was that it was independent of the console. It was independent of what Microsoft tried to do games for Windows and all that other horse shit, but they really never did it at the mercy of their games or of their console. Like they still satisfied the console owner and made them prideful in their console, in their ecosystem, giving them services with Xbox Live, evolving their platform, giving them new games, giving them exclusive deals, signing deals that make it look like, yo, we took something from the competition. We gave you something you've been asking for, and satisfying that core market. Now they said, core market, you're on cruise control right now. We'll show you a new and this is what they're going to do. I go back to my E3. I kind of went on a whole tangent here, as I always do. But they're going to talk a bunch of kumbaya holistic stuff at E3. PC, mobile, everybody playing. We're all friends. blah, 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 blah. And then I think they're going to try to reel in the console player back to go, oh, and we got some new hardware for you guys out there on cruise control. LJ, you know what? I think, and this is just thinking, I don't have, like, again, insiders or anything. I don't have any of that stuff. But I feel the way the stuff's been going, I think their version of surprises, Microsoft's version of surprises, is like saying Banjo will be on Super Smash Brothers. I think that's an announcement. I think that's the person that they invited. I think you're going to have Nintendo on the stage, because that is an announcement that Phil Spencer glory loves. That's the announcement. We're putting Banjo in Super Smash Brothers. They already released Joker. Where's the next game? Where's the next one? Nintendo's there. They could even show it at their conference, but I think Microsoft will announce Banjo and Kazooie will be in Super Smash Brothers. And that is a big surprise. And Phil will be like, woo, woo. And the people in the crowd who have an Xbox on their lap are going to be like, that's fucking great. So what, I got to go buy a Switch now, like, you know, to get a Banjo? And that's where I mean, like, that's the kind of announcement that is in the vision of Phil Spencer, but not really satisfying the core customer. And that's the thing. I don't give a shit that they want to do all that stuff. I don't think I don't give a shit. But the thing is don't shit on your core customers. That's why I refuse to be a core customer. That's why I speak out for the core customer, because I was a core customer and they chased me away. Because I am sick and tired of sitting there with my fucking tongue out to my knees going, give me something. Stop giving me the jerk off. Oh, they hired the guy who drew the 4K Norse nuts. Oh, they hired this guy. Oh, they opened up another studio. Oh, they did this. Oh, wait to E3. No other motherfucking companies wait to E3 besides Microsoft. Everybody's announcing shit. The only stuff Microsoft has been announcing leading up to E3 is fucking body wash and Fubu gear. And partnerships with bathing suits. Meanwhile, every motherfucker's teasing games for E3 except fucking Microsoft. Microsoft's showing the body washes. They're showing all this other shit. Sony's like, fuck E3. Here's the release date to Death Stranding. That's right. They hired the janitor, from Naughty Dog, the guy who cleaned the toilet bowls. Now he's cleaning the Initiative's toilet bowls. Got a great game coming for you. The janitor now. Their bowls are going to be shiny clean. That is my last hope is Gears 5. You're right, LJ. But that's the thing. Like, I'm just tired of sitting there just like waiting and hearing excuses. Like, oh, well, it's going to take time. We knew about Fable since last January. People were speculating about Fable. And motherfucker couldn't even tease a screenshot of it. Like, come on. But you could sit here and tell me the streaming is the future 6 years from now. Oh, xCloud's going to be everywhere. I'm testing it today. But you can't just say you confirm you're making some fucking games. You can't sit here and confirm you're making something, making a game. But you could sit here and talk about xCloud like it's coming tomorrow. You could sit here and talk about consoles last year. You were saying that you're building the next-gen console last year. That's just outright for 2020. But heaven forbid you talk about a fucking game you're making. That's why I think they're not making shit. They don't have anything to announce. That's the thing. They don't have anything. They're not sitting on release dates like Sony is. That's why whenever like Sony's on E3, we know what's coming out of Sony. All we need to know is when can I play it? There's already a lineup of 4 fucking games that are just coming from Sony, just from their studios. That's not to mention all the other exclusives, like they got Concrete Genie and the VR shit and all that other stuff. And on top of that, they got that Predator game and stuff like they're just announcing little trinkets now. The big ones, they're lined up. When is it coming out? That's all I need to know. They don't need a fucking stage for that. As you see from Death Stranding. It's a missed opportunity, I think. But Microsoft now waits and puts all the pressure on E3. They got monthly inside Xboxes. inside Xboxes where they could be teasing stuff. And, well, they do tease shit, but they could be showing stuff, little things. Why wasn't Battletoads a feature on one of the inside Xboxes? Instead, they did Division 2, and the motherfucker's telling me how he made the music for it. Or they fly Major Nelson in his white dildo gloves out there to go talk to the Division guy and tell me how the music and why did they choose Washington, D.C. Instead of showing Battletoads. Instead of talking about Ori. That's the shit that drives me crazy. Oh, and let's take this gold Xbox out that you could subscribe, donate blood, give me a semen sample, squirt in a cup, take a shit, stool sample, and then you could be inside the runnings to win this gold Xbox console. Instead, they talk bullshit and they put so much pressure on them for E3, which is this Sunday. That's right, Twisted. Right. It was huge. And that's why I said yesterday, just with Stadia stuff, it's enough where I could play, but you got to say what I want to play. Look at the interest in Death Stranding. Now, a game like that everywhere would be huge because there's such an interest to play that game. But look at Crackdown 3. Like, there was no interest to play that game. So it's dead. No matter where it is, it's on Windows 10 PC, more people to play. Maybe they put it on Steam next. But it was on all Windows 10 PCs at launch in February. That's 700 million PCs that it was there. And it was on 45 or 40 million Xboxes. Did that help Crackdown 3 at all? Did that help Gears 4? That the PC guys couldn't find games. It doesn't matter on how many people play. And that's the thing. Like, oh, to reach 2 billion people, we got to put this on phones. The thing is that you got to stand up above the rest. You got to show why your games are different. That was always the definition of first party. When you got a first party game, you knew that this was top tier quality made by the guys who know the hardware, the guys and girls that made the hardware. And now we'll see. But I do think E3 is going to be Xbox console owners will be kind of granted by default. And that's right, Callie. Yeah. Crackdown 3 doesn't always show that Game Pass doesn't always help games. And that's all bullshit, too. That was very early data. And you got to remember that Sea of Thieves was the first new IP coming out of Microsoft and had pre-orders. A lot of people were going to buy that game, and Game Pass was announced after Sea of Thieves was announced. So a lot of people were buying these games already. That's why Sea of Thieves had decent sales and Game Pass. But when you have games coming out straight up Game Pass, I want to see what the pre-orders are like. And not a lot of, because you got to be an idiot gamer to be like, well, I'm just laying down $60 right now when you have an option to pay $1 and actually experience majority of the game. Like, you really got to be like, even if you just pay $1 and subscribe to Game Pass, like, play the game and then see if you want to keep it and then maybe buy it. Because there's even a discount if you have it in Game Pass after a month. So why don't you just milk it for Game Pass? Like, if you're a consumer, it makes sense. Like, why would you go spend $60 right now to play Gears 5 when you could experience it for $1? And then you could say, oh, well, now I'll buy it after I played it for, like, oh, I'll keep this because this game looks like it has legs or something like that. Like, why would you do that? There's so many games out there. Like, why would you? I would buy $60 on a game that is not in Game Pass because I know that that's an option. Put him in Terry Crews, yeah. What they did with Terry Crews, right? As soon as Microsoft adds celebrities to their games, they're in deep shit. Just like with Quantum Break and now we saw a Crackdown. They're kind of like, look over here. Don't look to the left. Don't remind me over here. Look over to the left. But I really think that their E3 is going to be interesting this year. And I think it's going to, and you know what? I think it's going to piss off some Xbox fans, the people that still believe the console, the people who love Microsoft, the Microsoft fans. are going to be happy that Microsoft is still doing something. But I think Quantum Break wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as Crackdown. Like Quantum Break was all right. It needed more combat. I thought it could have used like an arena type thing. I wanted more combat and stuff like that. I think that the story thing was a little too long. But Quantum Break wasn't as bad. It was decent. But it was kind of the downturn of then after Quantum Break, we just went downturn from like there. But I agree. It wasn't trash. Like, people say Quantum Break was trash. It wasn't trash. I think some of the boss fight at the end was a little weak, but I wanted more time powers. Like I wanted more of the time powers stuff. That would have been cool. And they had something there. It was interesting. But I can tell you right now, Control. I told you what I played. The frame rate is I don't know what Remedy does, but I wish they had Alan Wake again because that was awesome. Alan Wake was so friggin' cool. But I don't no. Ninja Theory. Oh no! Oh yeah, that's he's talking about something else. I thought he was talking about this. So like, basically, yeah, like Alan Wake was really cool. Like, I thought that was cool. But Control, we'll see. And I don't know if Control is going to be on Microsoft stage. I know Cyberpunk will probably be there. Third party wise, will you know, uh, we're gonna get all the typical stuff. Like probably maybe Call of Duty will probably be there. They'll show some Call of Duty, or they're gonna have their own thing. But third party stuff, I'm really like, it's interesting. We'll see what it is. Like I saw that, they're redoing Destroy All Humans, which is pretty crazy. That game was fun. They even had a sequel. That game with Destroy All Humans. But I just focus more because E3 to me has always been about the press conferences. And it sucks that Sony's not doing a press conference because it was always fun to see like the three of them go at each other and stuff like that. And they never talk directly sometimes. But it was interesting to kind of compare, like, this is the best you got to show. This is the Super Bowl. And Sony backed out of it. But I think that Microsoft is going to use this stage and it's going to be announcements to everyone. And as much as it pains me to be like, that's where they're going with this stuff and the excitement of like, this is mine. This is Oz. Is just dwindling away for what E3 is to them. Like this is what Xbox is on sale. Let's go get one. Like, because that's what Sony did to me. That's the craziest thing. Because I sat there every year when Xbox on. Nah, fuck Sony. I'm not watching this shit. It was Sony bullshit. Oh, this bullshit. Everybody's like Cyber Shenmue 3 gives a shit. Stupid shit. People crying and stuff like that. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, what does all this crap? But they broke me down. They broke down. And then I just can't keep up with the quality in games that they had and what they're doing. That I'm just like, it didn't happen with the PlayStation 3 because I couldn't, the party chats and stuff like that was sucked. But it is my go-to now for console games because it gives me VR. It gives me exclusive games that look amazing on that console and it can't be played anywhere else. And they look special, and it gives you the online. So like, and you could play Enslaved Heavenly Sword on PlayStation Now. Talk about streaming, right? You could play Enslaved, which I played the first act on that, and you can play Heavenly Sword on PlayStation Now. Which I'm surprised, like, Xbox didn't make those backwards compatible as soon as they got Ninja Theory, but so they have to program for that thing, I guess, where Sony just has them running on PlayStation 3s. But I do think that the Microsoft E3 is going to be a lot of just big announcements for gamers and all. And Xbox fans will have to tease out the news to say, well, what's good for my console? Like, what's good for this? And, because I don't think there's going to be a direct, like, you guys right here at FanFest, you're going to love this news. Like, no, that's not them anymore. And, It is what it is, and I just think that a lot of people are going to just kind of tease out what's good in that. And now to go back to the, I do think that they're going to have the Halo Gears, Sea of Thieves, probably all that stuff. Surprises, we got the Ninja Theory thing, so we're gonna see what that is. That trailer. If you haven't seen it, I'm not gonna link it or show it here. Go find it because I don't want them taking down any videos and stuff. But the Ninja Theory game, which that was gonna be, it's a new IP. Uh, Burning Edge, stuff like that. It looks like a cross between Overwatch Rage and Overwatch Rage, like it's that doesn't look like Rage because Rage is a little violent. This doesn't look too violent. It looked like kind of animated violence. Yeah, Kung Fu Chaos was cool, but like I was saying before, like Ninja Theory has made a lot of single player narrative games, and they never made an online game, from what I've seen, like where I remember. Could I remember? If you correct me if I'm wrong, but they've made like Enslaved, Heavenly Sword, DMC, Hellblade, and Kung Fu Chaos, which was a co-op multiplayer game. And that's the thing, yeah. Like I don't look at E3 for like the third party games. Like no, this is Microsoft stage and Microsoft Theater and the Xbox Plaza. Like you know what I mean? Like this is their show. And I immediately got deflated when Phil was like, "Well, we're going to represent gaming. We're going to represent gaming, and we want to reach out to coming above that stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, yes, Twisted, yes, a new Mecha Assault. Oh, yes, please, that will be awesome." Hellblade 2, we're not getting. We're getting the arena fighter game, which I want to know, if that's $60. It looks perfect for Game Pass. It's a Game Pass game, and that's what Matt Booty said. Matt Booty said, "We bought these studios to make games in a 1 or 2 year cycle to make games for Game Pass." That's what Matt Booty said when he changed the name to Xbox Game Studios at that Inside Xbox. And actually, he said it on stage at XO18. He said it, we want the 2 year turnaround time. Like we got these kind of studios to make Game Pass games for Game Pass. He said it on console. I think he's referring to Game Pass, but he's like basically making games for Game Pass. It's quick turnaround time. They're not looking for a 5-6 year studio development. Same thing when they interviewed the initiative. The initiative said, "Well, we're being small and nimble." That don't sound like a studio staffing up for a 5 or 6 year project that's going to be this game. What's up, King? How you doing, man? So we'll see. Like we gotta see, but I just feel that it's going to be a lot. Just a lot of like a lot of just like kind of like announcements of other things. Similar to like the Gears of War 5 announcement. That's exactly like I think there'll be a lot of that. Where he'll talk about Gears Pop for mobile, Gears Tactics for PC, and then Gears 5. Like, you might have Age of Empires, you'll have a PC segment. They're gonna do a lot of that stuff. And it's gonna and I do fear that some of it's gonna be like, oh well, this doesn't pertain to me, this doesn't do to me. And I just it's just and I just it's going to be a lot of xCloud. I think it's going to be a big xCloud, and I think for the console, speaking about the next gen console, I think they're just going to go into say how powerful it is, what kind of GPU it's going to use, what kind of OAPU that's going to use, and along those lines. But I don't. I just don't think they're going to announce, and they're going to probably say Project Anaconda, Project Lockhart. But I do think, yeah, I thought it was a joke too. But I do think that, and I was thinking this, in between, the shows and stuff. I was thinking like, what, like Lockhart, like this whole Lockhart one. My prediction is, and the two predictions, and these will do my predictions. One prediction is I think Banjo Kazooie is going to be announced for the Switch, for Super Smash Brothers, and they're going to have Nintendo on stage showing this. I think I think Anaconda is going to be basically like like 600. I don't know price. Forget about it. I think it's going to be everything in it, like most powerful. Blah 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 blah. The question I have is the Lockhart, the one that's supposed to be the sub tier of next generation, the lower entry cost. My thing is I think they're going to do the X as a transitional console. Lockhart is going to be a diskless X. I think Lockhart is not going to have a disk drive because it's going to be kind of weird having, because you got to look at the prices. Like, they still, even though this on sale, it's not an official price drop, but the Xbox One X is still sitting at $500. They did not drop the price after Christmas to $400. They kept it at $500. They put it on sale for $400. And the only one that was on sale was a Fallout 76 because nobody was buying that trash. And they had to get rid of those console bundles to make way for the purple S console. And the fact that they're making custom S consoles now, they made a Fortnite purple during this time. The thing is like, I can't see the Xbox One X, $500, even if it drops to $400. Maybe it drops to $400 next year. Still sitting at $400, and they're going to try to release 2 more consoles next year. And what would the lockout be? 500 and then 600? And if all the games are playable on the X, how much more power will the lockout do? The lockout has to have some sort of hardware differentiation. And I think there's going to be a diskless X, and that's the diskless X. Because everybody's like, why didn't you do a diskless X? And I think that's what the lockout's going to be, which is going to be their, and that one's going to be probably $400, $500, and they'll drop the X to $300, maybe. But it just seems kind of redundant having a Lockhart and an X, the most powerful last gen and a weaker other gen with a teraflop here or there difference, without some sort of hardware differentiation. But again, my hopes and dreams that Phil Spencer goes out there and shows that there are games only playable on console, because we have not seen a console exclusive game at all. Maybe because it's in preview. And I don't want bullshit. Like, oh, well, PUBG. Oh my God, PUBG. Even anybody talk about it now? Now that it went to the PlayStation, like PUBG was like the biggest travesty in fucking Xbox history. Like, in the fact that they promoted it, they bundled it, it was still broken. Oh my God. And now PUBG's like, nah, nobody plays that shit. On console, at least, I guess. But like, that wasn't a real exclusive because it was a preview game that was like beta tested. I'm talking about go get a game. Like, I'm talking about like Tomb Raider style. Let's get some console exclusives, right? And maybe that will be my biggest reach, is that Microsoft announces a console exclusive, because everything I hear, it's the cloud, it's mobile phones, it's strap-ons to the phone. Let's put your strap on. I want Microsoft to come out and go, this amazing game, here it is. I don't know what I'm looking for. Sell me on it. This amazing game. It's a sales pitch. That's what E3 is, sales pitch. Coming to Xbox One this holiday exclusively. Just to the console. Remember those days? Like, that would be something. Like, do it for a month or two. At least give people a reason to run out and go spend that money. Yes, it does support Rumble, the strap-on. It's amazing. And Bluetooth, so it's wireless. But that strap-on for your phone, you got to get it. Now, I'm sure they'll show that. Oh, and people also, an Elite 2. Remember this Elite 2 that's been rumored for 2 years. Maybe they'll show that at E3. Remember, everybody thought it was a new Elite controller and wound up just being a white one. Only sold at GameStop. Another thing. Remember the financing for Xbox? That was a big that didn't do anything. That was only at the Windows 10 store. Like, dude, I was just at Best Buy. I saw that new PlayStation that they got Days of Play on it. It says. And it's the metallic one. And I saw a couple of employees just like looking at it. Like, oh shit, like, look at this. They wish they do that with the Pro. Yeah, they don't do it with the Pro. The custom console thing has been kind of a little on the weekend. But Microsoft chopped off its head to satisfy a market of people that we don't even know even want their shit. And this E3 is going to be their sales pitch to those people. The people that don't even know that Xbox exists. This E3 is going to get little Timmy playing at McDonald's, wants Wi-Fi to shut up and play some streaming games to keep his parents quiet while they enjoy something, eating. Also, it's their justification of pushing the PC. As Merc, what's up, Merc, man? It's if you're on if you are a PC gamer, Microsoft has bent the knee for you guys. I didn't grow up on PC gaming. I grew up with Nintendos. I grew up all console stuff. I had a Commodore 64, was the closest thing I got to PC gaming. And then maybe I would download some bootleg games in college and start playing them. But I was always a console. Nintendo, 64, now the GameCube, the original PlayStation, never owned the PlayStation 2, OG Xbox, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, the Wii, never owned the Wii U, PSP, never owned the PSP Go, and then Xbox One, Xbox One S, and then the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro, and a Switch. But I never. Thanks, Twisted. Thanks for coming out, man. But I never. I never grew up with PC. I never played a PC gaming. I never could do the mouse and keyboard. Control support was lacking and stuff like that. I know. That PS2 was a lot of people's shit. I bought it for 1 week to play GTA San Andreas, and I thought that will let me keep it. But it's amazing. But I was used to Xbox games looking a little bit better, and the Xbox games, built for the Xbox, their exclusives looked better. Sony was like that. PS2 was a little weak, and it was just like, oh, I'm going back in time. You know what? And they don't have online and all the other stuff, so that's why I returned it. And I just waited for San Andreas to come out to Xbox. But what I was saying is that for PC gaming right now, everybody is gunning for the PC market right now. Steam, Epic, they want a piece of that. And Microsoft abandoned that PC market a long time ago when they had it. Well, they never had it. That's Solitaire. But they kind of just let Steam just become the behemoth that it is. And then now they're trying to gain some foothold. And it's similar to like what they did with the phone. And the fact that they just let Sony, they let Google and Apple just kind of fight it and establish themselves. And then after a while, they're like, oh shit, we got to get into this mobile market. We lost it, and then they try to poke their head in as a third party, as a third company coming in. And they try to do it with PC, with the Windows 10 store. Just like, oh, no, don't mind us. Don't mind us. It is a good time to be a PC gamer. Don't mind us. We're just a Windows 10 store. And then they're like, yeah, we're not. Nobody's moving anything. And then they're just putting their games on Steam. But Microsoft wants to pursue that stuff. Sony's fine with just selling the consoles. And, they want to. The thing is I'm a console player. And I'll dab on PC stuff because I'll be able to use my controllers on it. But I really don't use a keyboard and mouse. And a PC is more than just a gaming machine, too. You use it for video. You use it for photographs. I use it a lot for photograph editing and stuff like that. And, it's a computer. So it does a lot more things than just play games. It's a very multifunctional device, obviously. But I'm like, let me play on a big TV. And you can tell that I'm a console gamer because I basically have my computer hooked up to a 55-inch TV. Because I'm not coming to play on a 27-inch little screen. I don't give a fuck about refresh rates, the V sync and Z sync and ass sync and fuck sync. I tried playing. I went and bought a ultra widescreen monitor because I was like, well, if I'm going to do PC gaming, I'm going to buy an ultra widescreen monitor. Then you find out that not a lot of games support ultra widescreen. That's the fuck shit they don't tell you about PC stuff. Is support. Does support controller? Does support ultra widescreen? Does support this resolution? Does this support this graphics card driver? But once you figure all that shit out, then you can do it. So you got to, before you buy a game, you got to go to the forums to figure out what it supports. But I got my computer hooked up to a 4K 55-inch TV that I put in a game. I sit back and play a controller on it. I use my computer as a console. Because I am not going to be sitting here crunched over a 27-inch 4K shit sink TV. A little screen. Multiple screens. Like, I'm not playing on a small little screen. I got a friggin' projector that Burke is 110 inches. I sit back. I want to be immersed. I don't want to be squinting. So that's why I'm a console gamer. And I remember when Phil Spencer said it, well, the console gamer and the PC gamer, they're two different type people. The console gamer likes to play close and on their screen and stuff. Well, the console gamer likes to sit back. The PC gamer likes to sit close. And so the console gamer and sync. Bye. The console gamer likes to sit back on their couch and sit back and play their games. Then all of a sudden, after that was when Phil Spencer that's that Phil Ness I talk about. Then that's when he's saying, well, why they're putting on games on PC? Well, we're putting your games from console to PC because they're two different markets. Like, the console player likes to sit back and watch on the big TV, where the PC gamer likes to sit close and, they're close to their TV. Oh, really? Now, all of a sudden, they're the same gamer. They're the same person now, according to Phil. Also, the person who plays the Panda Pop on their cell phone is the same person that plays on a 65-inch TV like Sam Ash. Sam Ash is the same guy that plays 65-inch TV, OLED, but also plays Panda Pop. Oh, and he plays on his rig, too. Phil Spencer's fucking wrong. And Eddie, hey, it's everybody's preference. Eddie, no problem. You like your 27-inch NSYNC? Yo. That's what I mean. If you grew up with gaming and stuff, maybe on PC, you're used to that kind of intimate, close. And also, I'll tell you this, Eddie, is one aspect. Playing on that size screen does make you does make you better competitively, because you have the whole screen in your vision. Because I can tell you, playing on a projector, that's not the place that I'm going to go play a shooter like Halo or Call of Duty on a projector screen, because it is just so massive that you have to physically turn your head to be whoa, left and right. But when you play on a small screen, you're definitely much more, you're much more reactionary. It also took a help with the higher refresh rates too. But you got a small screen; it's in your window. You could aim and you definitely move. Yes, the response time and also the size of the screen. Playing on a small screen does give you better reactionary time in Twitch shooters and stuff like that. Like I tried playing on my projector like Call of Duty and almost getting killed. I was like, holy shit, because I'm like physically moving my head left and right. I'm like, oh. So yeah, competitively, that's why you see the gamers in competitive circuits, they play on small TVs and stuff like that. But it's definitely for competitiveness. But I'm just saying, for me, I'm always sit back. I want to be immersed with sound, surround sound speakers all behind me and all that other stuff. And I want to be, I want to be immersed with a big screen, surround sound, get me into your game. That's how I am. So I know I'm on tangents and whatever like that, but it just goes to just say, with E3 and, what we're going to see, it's going to be a lot of, and I'm saying PC stuff. And I think that's where I got on the thing. It's just PC game. A lot of people are making this push for PC, so expect to hear a lot about PC stuff. I think that PC Game Pass would be interesting. My thing is about the PC Game Pass, and this is another topic that's probably going to be in E3, is this games go on sale so frequently, and you could get them through so many outlets, CD Keys and GOG and Green Man and Green was a Green Man Gaming and stuff, like where I went to for those games and stuff. That Microsoft Game Pass really, if they keep it tied to the Windows 10 store, were they going to put Lucky Sevens in there? 100 games. I can't even find 100 games in that thing. Like it is besides their Xbox games, the 100 games in that Windows 10 store are fucking garbage. You want to talk about trash? You're talking about Lucky Sevens, spin-off of Hexix, You're looking at Candy Crushes, spin-offs. Like, they only have the official games in there. So I don't know what the hell 100 games in Game Pass from Windows 10 stores are going to look like. Maybe they'll throw Metro Exodus in there and some other games, but besides their games and maybe some Metro and Shadow of War or something like that, Windows 10 store is an abomination. Like, they don't even have the real games in there. Like, they don't even have they have spin-offs of the mobile games in that Windows 10 store. Hexix, it's like Dixix. Hey, Dixix is in here. You know Hexix. Well, here's Dixix. Panda Pop. You know what? It's called Furry Pop. You know Panda Pop. It's Furry Pop. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. So I don't know what 100 games looks like, and unless they combine with Steam. But those games go on sale so often, like $5 you get, and you know, humble bundles and stuff. Like, I don't know if a PC gamer wants to subscribe $10 a month to get, you know, some of Microsoft's games and a bunch of just like mediocre, like arcade, like horrible stuff. They're gonna want they're gonna want some big games in there, and Microsoft's games only could hold so much. So we'll see what they're gonna do with this Game Pass thing. But I just don't. That PC Game Pass thing. Craig Von Doom says, he says Netflix had Kick Punch Panda instead of Kung Fu Panda. That's it. That is the Windows 10 store in a nutshell, man. It's like, oh, this is just like, oh, wait a second. Yes, but Origin Access is good. Like, you know, the fact that you have that is like, oh, at least you get the full game. Yeah, right. But EA at least has like all their games, like a lot of EA's games, the sports games and stuff like that. At least, like, you know, I don't know. Microsoft's already saying 100 games. That's why I'm even jumping there, like 100 games. I don't know if they're going to use Steam. I'm not sure. But let's see. I'm looking at something here. Yeah. But like, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. And you know, the fact that I'm a little taken back by, you know, going back to that Ninja Theory trailer. It looked cool, you know. If it's real, you know, who knows if it's not real? It looks damn real to me. It looks a little like it looks interesting, but they're gonna need. I felt that they need like an E3, like with some, like just announcing just shit like God of War, Spy. Like, they just need to have that, and I don't know if they'll ever have that. But in order to gain respect back from the gamer, just like, you know, you are a first party house studio with amazing games, I just don't know if they even want that anymore. Because I don't think they want that. Because I think they realize that, like, you know, they max out their console potential. Like, they'll sell consoles because they got to keep those guys paying for Xbox Live. And by them, the console owner paying for Xbox Live is subsidizing them able to give it out for free. That's so your PC guys on, like, think I could download. I pay $1, and I could download Gears of War 5, play it online in chat without paying any kind of multiplayer service. But on the Xbox, you got to pay for Game Pass if you want to get it through Game Pass. Then you got to pay for Xbox Live on top of that. And the thing is, it's like if everybody's one ecosystem, then either eat the cost of Xbox Live and roll it into Game Pass, because that Game Pass Ultimate, that's bullshit. They're not subsidizing anything. They're just saying, oh, well, you know what? For convenience, you don't get two charges. You just get one. So instead of charging just $10 and $5 a month, we're just going to change you $15 a month. It should be $10 with Xbox Live, or even $11 or $12 with Xbox Live. Eat at least $3 or $4 or something like that. Subsidize the cost of Xbox Live. Roll it into it. And also, too, I think Game Pass on PC is going to be a sole. That's if you own Xbox Game Pass on Xbox, and you pay for Live individually, you're gonna pay separately for Xbox for PC Game Pass. Like it's gonna, because they're different games in there. They'll have some crossovers, but they're gonna be different games. And that supposedly they're saying with this Ultimate thing, you're saving $5 because you'll be paying 10. It'll still be 25. You'll be saving 5. Maybe you're saving like $10 or something by doing that. But it just seems kind of redundant because as a PC player, why would you pay for Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live if you just want to pay for the PC Game Pass? Again, so many options, so confusing, so many questions. And this is what they do to themselves. They put themselves in this thing where they gotta have like footnotes and asterisks all under the blah blah blah. Like, oh yeah, well, if you buy it here, you'll get it there, but not on this day, you'll get it on this date. And then you can buy Ultimate for $100 and you get it 4 days early. Like all these asterisks and stuff. But we will see. But I think E3 is gonna. We're gonna do a reactionary video. I think on playing Xbox. If we don't do a live stream, maybe I'll have it live streamed on my channel. Talk over and just like watch it and stuff like that. But I encourage you, if you don't want to be spoiled, don't look at the Ninja Theory thing, which I think now has just taken over Twitter pretty much. Wow, yeah, it has, and and people are critiquing it, and this was going to happen because this is not what people expected out of Ninja Theory. Now, say if they built it earlier, they built the thing, but this is not what you thought coming from Ninja Theory. And, if we're going to see more games like this coming from the Xbox Game Studios, these kind of like service games built for Game Pass, and, it's really going to leave a sour taste in the mouth because when people thought Microsoft was buying these studios, they were building up an arsenal to go against Sony Studios, Naughty Dogs, all those guys, the Media Molecules, and just, well, and even Dreams. Dreams is fucking amazing. Oh my god, Dreams is like freaking. I can't believe the remakes that people are making in that thing. It is just awesome. I don't build for shit, but my god, you go play that thing. That is like a showcase of just playing game. Like I'm in shock of Dreams. Like I encourage everybody to check that out. That's what I wished Project Spark would have been. But Microsoft put all of its assets behind paywalls and try to use that game as a service, and you put creativity behind a haunted Mac pack, and behind tools that people could use to make games. You put money behind that stuff, and you put money behind people's creativity, and that's why that game died, because they put all that shit in Project Spark behind microtransactions. Again, the service fucked the game. With Dreams, you create anything you want, and you look at what people make with voiceovers and animations. It's amazing. It just shows restriction and trying to make games technical as a service and making games as an art. That's the difference. But I think as more and more games get announced from these studios, now Obsidian already has its game, Outer Worlds. So they're like in bed for that multi-platform game. So I don't think we'll see anything from them. Battletoads, who knows? Again, Game Pass. Like I think the big thing out of Xbox E3 is gonna be like Game Pass. When do I subscribe for Game Pass? Like that, I think that's it, because there's no financial investment you need to make for any of their games at all, except for signing up for a Game Pass or getting a 14-day trial. I've been just milking 14-day trials whenever I need to. Oh, I'm sure I didn't get any Stadia ads. I have the premium, but I'm sure Stadia ads will be all over the place. And Stadia is not done. They're not done. And I think I was listening to Next Gen 720 on his video, multiplayer podcast and stuff like that. And they were going on about, is Stadia a better value than Game Pass? And I just want to make one thing here. I know this is not part of the Ninja Theory E3 thing, but xCloud and Xbox Game Pass are two separate things. They are a subscription. Like Game Pass is a subscription. But I do think Stadia is going to be almost like backwards compatibility. Like, oh, this game's available for Stadia. I'm sorry, not Stadia. This game's available for xCloud. This game's available for xCloud. Like, oh, now this is available to stream on xCloud. This is available to stream on xCloud. I do think xCloud is going to have its own subscription. and they'll probably do an xCloud Game Pass type of like combo thing, maybe to do something like that. But PlayStation Now is more of the terms of what of a hybrid would be, because you get subscription, you get downloading, and you get streaming, and you get downloading, and online is just intertwined with that, and it's all said and done in one package. Which, by the way, PlayStation Now during the days of play is $70 for a year. That's when I scoop them up. $60, $70, you get it for a year. The price of one game, you get a year of PlayStation Now. Plus, even if you don't play any of those stream ass games, you could still download PlayStation 4 games from there. There's a lot of it's like having like another PlayStation Plus. That gives you about this month they just gave us 10 games. So I was playing like a Dangerous Zone, with Destruction Zone with the car thing. That game sucked. The golf game was pretty cool. The Dangerous Golf. My sons are playing the Lego games to begin with for free. They just gave Lego City. They gave Shadow of Mordor, which that shit's old. So I was like, I'm not happy with this month. But like they gave more combat, they gave Street Fighter 4, stuff like that. But yeah, $70, like shit for the year, just to download about 8 to 10 PlayStation 4 games that you might not have purchased. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's really good, and that's the day to play. Same thing with the PlayStation Now stuff. Which I think Microsoft's still doing their promotion with Game Pass. I don't know. I don't think they're doing any kind of big year one. That's another thing too. Where's the big year sale? Like Sony tries to sell you a year of PlayStation Now for $70. Like, why isn't Microsoft going, yo, Game Pass for a year, $60 this week, $80 this week? Why? Why is it still 120? Like, let's go. You know? I don't know. It just kind of, I don't know if Game Pass is on sale. They do the little ones, like $1 for 3 months, $1 for a month, but they're not doing big sales on the year. Which you think, like, if they're committed to this Game Pass thing, they will want people locked in for a year. Like, why would you not try to lock them in for a year and put some sales like 10% off, 20% off a year of Game Pass? You don't see them pushing the year too much in Game Pass. With PlayStation Now, that's all they're doing is pushing the year. It's interesting. It's very interesting. I like the $70 for a year. Like shit, that's the price of a game, and you get all that shit. Plus, the streaming's not bad once you have if you have a connection like plugged in. The streaming's not bad, and they got the PlayStation 2 games in there too. They put a whole bunch of Star Wars games in there, like Super Star Wars and stuff like that. It's not bad. And I play like Gone to the Rapture like through streaming. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't ideal, but I got through it. But I prefer the downloads. I'm just surprised that Xbox really don't push the year of Xbox Game Pass. But then you got to pay for Xbox Live on top of that for a year. With Sony, if you're not doing that. But it's just, we will see. Like the video, guys. If you like it, dislike it, whatever you want to do, share it out. But, again, I think my two big predictions is Banjo going to the Switch. That's a big announcement that they're going to have. I think, and now we see Ninja Theory's game, which I think some people won't be disappointed. I think you see a lot of disappointment. Yeah, there's gonna be haters out there that just hate everything Microsoft does, and people might call me that too. But it's just like I'm just fed up with this bullshit. They need to man up or step aside. Like I said, get rid of. If you don't believe in Xbox consoles being successful, then get rid of it. But don't just take the Xbox brand that we helped build up and became an ecosystem to, and just try to milk out Xbox to be something that it was not. That's a slap in the face. Like, I think if you did that to any fan base, they would be pissed. Like, if you built up a fan base based off of, I'm probably gonna do an E3 stream. There's some lag, and I'm gonna tell you one thing with streaming. If you play like games that are dark visually and stuff like that, like you'll see like artifacting and stuff, and the blacks and the shadows and stuff like that, and it is annoying. But just to get back to, I just hope, my biggest hope is that they do address the Xbox console owner and not just try to get the console people to buy another console and just be that kind of ignorant. Give people a reason to buy, not just power, not just because you want, like, don't do a whole E3 of, Games everywhere, on your toilet, on your phone. Oh, we're supporting Apple products. Here comes Nintendo Switch. We got another more games for the Switch. Oh, we're putting so many more games on Steam right now. Here's all the games for Steam. Here's all PC games. Oh, here are all these games. And everybody's sitting there going, did you see, did it say it's coming to Xbox? Like what we did with Gears Tactics. Like, is it coming to Xbox? Like, do we have to ask a question? Like, all this wondering, like, yo, do we have to question if this is coming to a gaming platform? Like, that's bullshit. Like, and I just hope it's not an E3 of all. Like, excuse me, Mister Ferguson or Mister Ninja Theory, is this like a timed exclusive or something on PC? Is this coming to Xbox? Like, you didn't announce. Oh well, we're making this a PC focused first game, and then oh shit, really? Oh okay. And I just hope the conference is not a whole bunch of that bullshit. And then and then what they try to do is gonna say, oh well, but here's a console for you guys. But we're making a console because we're still devoted to the console market. We still want to make the best console ever. So here you go, guys, and try to like recapture. Meanwhile, the bait and switch, like they're talking about gaming for everybody else, the whole friggin' conference, and then all of a sudden at the end they're like, "Oh, and you guys should buy a new console." Because that would be some bullshit. That would be some Phil Ness to the T. And I'm just hoping they don't pull that kind of shit. Even though, like, I will play their games on PC, I just think it's a disservice because I would like to go back to Xbox. I would like to play on a console, but I just can't justify them with the message and the direction that they have taken it. It's like you'll be foolish to go to the console. Like there's no reason to. And I want them to make a reason because it will be interesting. It'll be competition. It'll show that they're still in this thing because they don't seem to be in it at all. And they're chasing people that don't even give a shit about them. And they're shitting on the core audience that flies cross country to be there, the fan fest to celebrate with them. But that Phil Ness. So stay tuned. I'm probably gonna do a stream if we're not doing one playing Xbox. I think we're gonna do a post show. But you know, my expectations are in check. Like I never take anything from them now face value. Like all 14 games, Xbox games on stage. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. We'll see. Show me the Sea of Thieves DLC 20 times. Oh yeah, it was here. I wasn't lying. No. And now I saw Ninja Theory's game, and I'm like, there we go. 4v4, cartoon looking, Overwatch looking game. Looks interesting. You know, I'm not gonna like. You know, I don't think it's fair to say a hater or something like that, but I don't think that game. What they showed in that trailer, I'm like, okay, that's neat. Like that looks like Game Pass game. It looks like a Game Pass game. Like that would be great for Game Pass. Thank you. I can't see that game being $60 on store shelves. Like like I can't see it. Maybe they'll show more of it, but and there's gonna be a technical test. Yay! More technical bullshit that we could test out in June 27th. So we get to play it. Technical test, like we had the technical crackdown test. Like, yeah, like maybe Ninja Theory has another game. Maybe this was just this one, and I don't know. My other thing too is like people going like, well, Ninja Theory, Obsidian. Oh, they're making 3 and 4 games each, dude. Oh, the Ninja Theory, Rare's making 4 games, and Ninja Theory's making 3. If they can't get 343 to come out with a game with 400 people in the studio, and they come out with a game every 5 years, how the hell are like 100 people in a studio making 4 games, 2 projects? Like 60 people. Yeah, we're 100 people deep. We're making 3 projects. Meanwhile, you got a 343 and Coalition sitting there with 400 people deep, and they're like, "We're all making 1 game, guys. We're all here for Halo Infinite." I don't know. These are little games, if they are. There's like little games. But anyway, I gotta go, guys. I want to thank you again. Like the video, share it out. My previous one yesterday was about the Stadia one. I plan to do some more, but I want to thank you again, grinders out there. I appreciate all the support. Thank you, Phil Socrates, Socrates. Thank you, Eddie, Mog, Ash, all you guys. D Almighty Spartan, Smooth was here, Cali, all of you guys hanging out here. Twisted Sync, Merc, and we had Gregor Von Doom, Ant Money, always coming out. And we had Eddie T, King. Yeah, I want to thank LJ. Welcome him. I haven't seen him before, but thank you very much for coming on, man. And also we had Glorious Kev. He was here too. And Seal Clerks and Blue. Thank you guys. Hardcore Metal, yo. And Plays United Gaming, what's up? And let's see what else I saw in here. D1. And I missed your name. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm just trying to go back here. Brian V. And I want to thank you guys again for coming out. Again, this has been Jez7780 with What Grinds My Gears. I'll change the episode number when I do it, but I want to thank you guys again for coming out and listening to my rants, my predictions, my craziness, and keep it gaming, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Grinders out.